During the transfer window, Rangers are no strangers to having their name thrown into the mix when it comes to potential new signings. It's a constant buzz. Some names excite, others fizzle out, but every once in a while, a rumor lands. That makes fans pause, and that's exactly what's happened now. What's turned a routine link into a talking point across Glasgow is not just the player involved, but who is making the recommendation. Because, in a twist that no one quite saw coming, a former Celtic midfielder has publicly urged Rangers to make a move for one of his compatriots. A young striker already earning attention for his clinical ability in front of goal. When the suggestion comes from someone not usually inclined to talk up the blue side of the city, it naturally raises eyebrows. It doesn't just stir debate, it grabs headlines, fuels speculation, and most importantly gets fans dreaming. Now, let's be honest. Rangers are at a crossroads in their squad building. Last season showed flashes of promise, but was ultimately defined by inconsistency in the final third. Goals were hard to come by at key moments, and it's clear the club needs a fresh injection of firepower to mount a proper title challenge. So when someone who once wore green and white says, "This lad could shine at Ibrox," people listen, even if they do so with suspicion. There's something almost surreal about seeing praise for Rangers coming from the other side of the shoe. Divide, but it also adds a strange sense of legitimacy. Like if even he sees the potential fit, maybe there's really something there. The striker in question is Dor Turman, a name that might not ring bells for every fan just yet, but one that's quickly rising in European football circles. Only 20 years old, Turman has already built a reputation in Israel for being a natural finisher. 15 goals in 23 league starts for Maccabi Tel Aviv. That's not just solid, that's elite output for someone so young. And that's exactly what Rangers are missing, a clinical edge. Someone who can convert those scrappy half chances into points on the board. The man who's given this unexpected endorsement is Eyal Berkovic, a player whose own time in Scottish football wasn't exactly a fairy tale, but whose voice still carries weight in Israeli football. Berkovic, who made a high-profile move to Celtic back in the late 90s, has urged his young countrymen to see Rangers as a stepping stone. Not just to bigger things, but specifically as a platform to get noticed by clubs south of the border. His argument is simple. Rangers, just like Celtic, are always under the Premier League spotlight. Scottish football might not be the most competitive league week in, week out, but when you're wearing one of the Old Firm shirts, you're seen. Whether it's Sky Sports, highlight reels, or European nights, scouts from England are watching. And for a young striker like Turman, that visibility could make all the difference. Of course, Berkovic didn't sugarcoat things either. He was quick to point out the reality that Israeli players often struggle when moving abroad. Whether it's adapting to the code, the language barrier, or just a different pace of life. He mentioned players who have left for Europe, America, even Japan, and disappeared from the spotlight. And that's a fair warning. Moving to Scotland isn't just about football, it's about handling the entire package, from cultural shock to weather that bites through your coat. But Berkovic still believes Turman has the temperament to make it. And more importantly, that Rangers is the kind of club that could launch him to the next level. Now, whether Rangers take this advice on board is another story. Nothing's concrete. No offer on the table yet, but the endorsement alone is worth talking about. Because when a former Celtic man says this player would thrive at Rangers, it cuts through the usual noise of transfer speculation. It gets fans and pundits alike to sit up and pay attention. And more than that, it raises a wider question about how Rangers should be approaching this transfer window. Should they be targeting young, hungry players from outside the usual markets? Should they be looking for that next big star before he breaks out, rather than chasing players already deep into their careers? There's also the bigger context of the managerial shakeup at Ibrox. With Russell Martin now at the helm, the direction of the club is shifting again. And according to former Rangers fullback Gregory Vignal, things could have been very different. Vignal revealed in a recent interview that both Rafael Benitez and Steven Gerrard had informal discussions about the Rangers job before Martin got the nod. Apparently, Vignal met Benitez in Liverpool, and the topic came up. Rafa's not tied to any club right now and is currently working with UEFA. Vignal says Benitez would have been open to the idea if Rangers had come calling. Imagine that. A Champions League winning manager potentially walking the touchline at Ibrox. It didn't happen, but just the fact that these conversations were even taking place shows how high the stakes are. Vignal, who is currently working as a performance manager in Latvia but dreams of being a head coach one day, also mentioned chatting with Gerrard. He joked about whether Steven had kept his Glasgow apartment ready. A lighthearted moment, but it shows how tight the coaching world really is. Everyone talks, everyone knows each other, and when jobs open up at big clubs like Rangers, ears perk up. The interest from figures like Benitez and Gerrard shows that the Rangers' job still carries serious weight in European football circles. That's something fans should take pride in. Back to transfers, though. Because while the managerial story adds spice, it's what happens on the pitch that truly matters. The attack needs options. The fans know it. The club knows it. And with the clock ticking on the transfer window, every lead, every tip-off, every recommendation counts. Turman may not be a household name in Scotland. Not yet, anyway. But his numbers speak volumes. Berkovic believes in him. His club sees him as a future star. And now, Rangers are being linked. Whether this turns into an official approach or not, it's a story that's captured the imagination, and rightly so. That recommendation alone would have been enough to stir debate, but there's even more drama surrounding Rangers from the last few days. One flashpoint came in the final game of the Scottish Premiership season. A match that should have ended with Rangers comfortably in front, but didn't, thanks to one of the more controversial non-goal decisions of the year. Nicholas Raskin thought he doubled the lead against Hibernian at Easter Road, only for the referee to wave it off. After a lengthy VAR review, the officials concluded there wasn't conclusive proof that the ball had crossed the line. No goal, no celebration. Just confusion and frustration. Now, Scottish FA President Mike Mulroney has weighed in, saying not even a better camera angle would have changed the outcome. He insists that without goal line technology, these kinds of situations will always be up for debate. The real solution, according to him, is simple. Bring in the tech. But, and it's a big but, that kind of system comes at a cost. We're talking close to £1 million per season to equip the Premiership with full goal line technology. Split across the 12 clubs, that's around £100,000 each. And when you think about smaller clubs with tight budgets, that's not pocket change. Mulroney made the point that those funds could go toward improving stadium infrastructure, fixing roofs, building better facilities for disabled fans, or investing in youth development. So it's not just a question of technology versus tradition. It's about priorities. That said, the inconsistency in key moments, like Raskin's disallowed goal, will keep the debate raging. Because no matter how many camera angles you have, unless the ball is chipped or tracked by technology, these calls will remain subjective. And that's never ideal in high-stakes football. Mulroney also came to the defense of Scottish referees in general, saying that while they do make mistakes, they're no worse than officials in other major European leagues. He argued that referees are under massive pressure and deserve better protection, both in terms of resources and public support. That might not go down well with everyone, especially fans who feel robbed by questionable decisions, but his point stands. The game needs to evolve, and so does how we judge those running it from the middle of the pitch. Meanwhile, Rangers fans are left wondering what could have been. Not just in that one game, but across the entire season. Missed chances, missed decisions, and maybe missed opportunities in the transfer market. That's why this summer is so important. The club cannot afford another campaign of near misses. Whether it's bringing in young talents like Turman or leaning into the wisdom of seasoned managers like Benitez, one thing is clear. Change is coming to Ibrox. The only question now is how bold Rangers are willing to be. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to get all the exclusive news about Rangers FC. Don't overlook any details about your beloved team. It's crucial for Rangers FC fans. Whispers are growing louder around Ibrox. And if what's echoing through the corridors holds any truth, Rangers fans could be in for a summer of significant shakeups. The latest murmuring suggests a rift might be brewing within the squad. And the names linked to a potential departure are raising more than a few eyebrows. Ianis Hagi, Václav Cherny, and Cyriel Dessert. While nothing has been confirmed by the club or the players' representatives, talk of discontent has begun to bubble just beneath the surface. Sources close to the team hinted internal tensions, possibly linked to game time, tactical disagreements, or even locker room dynamics. Whatever the cause, the speculation is that these three might be eyeing the exit door, or perhaps already halfway through it. Yanis Hagi, long seen as a technically gifted creative outlet, has reportedly grown frustrated with his role since returning from injury. Despite his efforts, he has struggled to cement a consistent place in the starting 11 under the current regime. Some suggest his style hasn't meshed with tactical shifts at Ibrox, and suitors on the continent may already be circling. As for Václav Černý, the Czech winger arrived with promise and flair, but he too has seen limited impact. Sources suggest the player feels underutilized, and while his quality isn't in doubt, the fit within the current system might be. A move elsewhere could benefit both parties if the right offer comes in. Perhaps the most surprising name is Cyril Dessert. The Nigerian forward has split opinions since joining the Light Blues. While his numbers aren't disastrous, the murmurs of unease suggest that both he and the coaching staff might see a parting of ways as best for all involved. Whether it's a matter of confidence, chemistry, or competition for the striker's spot, Desert's future at Ibrox now seems less than certain. Of course, as with all transfer whispers, there's still more smoke than fire. But the timing, just ahead of a crucial summer window, gives these rumblings extra weight. With Rangers looking to rebuild and reshape ahead of another tilt at domestic dominance and European progress, the idea of a mini exodus isn't entirely far-fetched. For now, it remains speculation. But where there's this much smoke, one has to wonder if a fire is soon to follow. Greetings, fans! Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as it's greatly appreciated by Rangers FC. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments section below. Until the next video, stay tuned.